How to spot negative people in your life before they ruin everything. There is an invisible force in your life more powerful than your ambition, more influential than your intelligence, more decisive in shaping your future than even your deepest desires. And that force is the people you surround yourself with. We like to believe we are independent thinkers, captains of our own fate, immune to the influences of others. But history, psychology, and philosophy all tell us otherwise. Human beings are social creatures, deeply affected by the energy, mindset, and expectations of those around them. And while the right people can uplift you, challenge you, and inspire you to become the best version of yourself, the wrong ones can quietly, subtly, and sometimes completely destroy you. Negative people are not always easy to spot. They don't come with warning labels. They don't announce their intentions. In fact, some of them don't even realize they are negative forces in your life. They can be friends, colleagues, even family members, people who, on the surface, may seem harmless or even supportive. But their influence can be corrosive. They plant seeds of doubt when you share your dreams. They dismiss your excitement with cynicism. They make you feel guilty for wanting more, for striving, for believing in yourself. And if you are not careful, their negativity will begin to shape your reality.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more topics you love.
The danger of negative people is not that they openly oppose you. It's that they subtly reprogram your mind. They make you second-guess yourself. They normalize mediocrity. They turn ambition into arrogance, confidence into recklessness, dreams into delusions. They disguise fear as wisdom and pessimism as realism. And because their influence is gradual, you may not even notice it happening. You might tell yourself that you are just being practical, that you are thinking things through, that you are avoiding unnecessary risks. But in reality, you are absorbing their limitations. The question then is, how do you spot them before it's too late? How do you identify the people who are quietly holding you back? The first sign is how you feel after spending time with them. Do you feel energized or do you feel drained? Do you feel inspired or do you feel discouraged? Pay attention. The people who uplift you may not always tell you what you want to hear, but they push you to grow. They challenge you because they believe in you. But negative people, they leave you feeling smaller, more uncertain, more fearful. They project their own insecurities onto you. They see your ambition as a threat, your optimism as naivete, your success as a reminder of their own stagnation. But here's the most dangerous part. Negative people often don't think they are being negative. They believe they are protecting you. They think they are being realistic. They think they are sparing you from disappointment. But what they are really doing is keeping you trapped in their version of reality, a reality where taking risks is foolish, where striving is pointless, that where the safest path is the only path. And if you accept their reality as your own, you will never escape it. So ask yourself, who in your life makes you feel like your dreams are too big? Who subtly discourages you, not with outright criticism, but with doubt, hesitation, and practical advice? Who makes you feel guilty for wanting more? These are the people who can quietly, invisibly, and sometimes permanently hold you back. And if you don't recognize them in time, they may convince you to abandon the very things that could have made your life extraordinary. The hidden ways negative people influence your mind without you even noticing. The most dangerous form of control is not the one enforced through force or intimidation. It is the one that operates in silence, the one you don't even realize is happening. Negative people do not always appear as enemies or detractors. Sometimes they wear the mask of concern, of logic, of experience. They do not scream at you to stop chasing your dreams. They whisper reasons why you should reconsider. They do not tell you that you will fail outright. They plant doubts that make you fear failure before you even try. And because their influence is so subtle, so indirect, it feels like your own thoughts. That is where the real danger lies. Beings are wired to seek validation from those around them. It is an ancient survival mechanism, a way to ensure that we remain part of the tribe, that we do not stray too far from the collective. But in the modern world, this instinct can be a prison. When you spend enough time around negative people, their worldview begins to seep into your own. Their fears become your fears. Their skepticism becomes your skepticism. Their limitations become the boundaries of your own potential. And the worst part, you don't even realize it's happening. You begin to believe that these doubts originated within you. You mistake their negativity for your own inner voice. Think about it. How many times have you had an idea, a goal, a dream, and then immediately dismissed it? How many times have you talked yourself out of something before you even started? You may think you are being logical, practical, responsible. But what if you are just repeating the doubts that have been fed to you? What if the voice in your head telling you that you are not ready, not good enough, not capable, that voice was never yours to begin with? Negative people influence you in ways that go beyond words. They shape the very energy of your environment. Have you ever walked into a room and felt tension in the air without anyone saying a word? Have you ever been around someone whose very presence made you feel heavy, unmotivated, uninspired? That is the unspoken power of negativity. It is contagious. It spreads through body language, through tone, through the subtle ways people respond or don't respond when you share your excitement, your plans, your vision. And it doesn't stop there. Negative people can manipulate your perception of success and failure. They may not tell you directly that you should give up, but they will celebrate your hesitation. They will feel relieved when you don't take risks. They will subtly reward your inaction with comfort, with approval, with a sense of belonging. And on the other side, they will quietly discourage your boldness. They won't cheer for your victories the way they should. They won't match your excitement when you achieve something great. They may even downplay your success, attributing it to luck, to timing, to circumstances beyond your control. But they do this not because they are evil, but because your success makes them confront their own fears, their own excuses, their own unfulfilled potential. But here's the truth. The people who truly care about you will never make you feel small. They will never make you question your right to chase your dreams. They will never encourage you to settle for less than what you are capable of. Real supporters challenge you, push you, hold you accountable not because they doubt you, but because they believe in you. So now you must ask yourself, who in your life is truly on your side? Who celebrates your wins without reservation, without jealousy, without subtle condescension, and who leaves you feeling drained, doubtful, hesitant to take action? Because the people you surround yourself with will either propel you forward or hold you back. And if you are not careful, you may find yourself living a life that was never truly yours, shaped not by your own desires, but by the silent influence of those who were too afraid to chase their own. Escaping the trap. How to distance yourself from negative people without guilt or regret. The hardest part about freeing yourself from negative people isn't recognizing them, it's letting them go. We are bound to others by invisible threads of loyalty, history, and emotion. Even when we know that someone is weighing us down, we hesitate to walk away. We tell ourselves that we owe them something, that we must endure their negativity because of time, because of shared experiences, because it feels cruel to distance ourselves from those who have been part of our lives. But the truth is, staying connected to people who drain you is not an act of kindness, it is an act of self-betrayal. You have one life, one chance to build something meaningful, to pursue the things that set your soul on fire, to become the person you were meant to be. Every day spent surrounded by negativity is a day stolen from that purpose. And yet, we hesitate. We fear the discomfort of confrontation, the awkwardness of pulling away, the guilt of prioritizing ourselves. But here is the reality. Your responsibility is not to preserve relationships at the cost of your own growth. Your responsibility is to protect your mind, your energy, your future. But negative people often do not realize the effect they have on others. Some of them are lost in their own pain, their own fears, their own disappointments. They may not be deliberately trying to hold you back, but that does not change the effect they have on your life. And the most dangerous thing you can do is assume that you can change them. That if you just explain yourself, if you just try harder, if you just show them a different way of thinking, they will finally see the light. But negativity is not something you can argue against. It is not something you can fix in someone else. It is something they must choose to change within themselves. And if they are not ready, no amount of effort on your part will make a difference. So how do you distance yourself without guilt? You start by understanding that protecting your energy is not selfish, it is necessary. You cannot pour into others if you are constantly being drained. You cannot uplift the world if you are being dragged down at every step. And most importantly, you cannot become your best self if you are constantly surrounded by those who make you doubt that version of yourself even exists. The process of distancing yourself does not have to be dramatic. That you do not need to announce that you are cutting someone off. You do not need to engage in arguments or justify your decision. You simply begin to shift your focus. You invest more time in people who inspire you. You create space for new relationships that align with your vision for your life. And as you do, the negative connections will begin to fade naturally. Some people will notice and confront you. They will ask why you are pulling away. They may even try to make you feel guilty for changing. But remember this, the only people who will resent your growth are those who benefited from your stagnation. And what about the ones you cannot completely remove from your life? Family members, co-workers, people you must interact with. The answer is boundaries. You do not have to absorb someone's negativity just because they are in your proximity. You can choose how much access they have to your thoughts, your emotions, your time. And you can refuse to engage in conversations that drain you. You can protect your peace without needing permission. The moment you begin to surround yourself with people who believe in you, something incredible happens. Your mindset shifts, your confidence grows, and your energy changes. You begin to see possibilities where you once saw obstacles. You begin to take action where you once hesitated. And most importantly, you begin to realize just how much of your potential was being stifled by the wrong influences. So ask yourself, who in your life is adding to you, and who is quietly subtracting from you? If you continue to allow negative people to shape your reality, what kind of future are you creating for yourself? And if you had no guilt, no fear, no hesitation, who would you choose to keep in your life? Because at the end of the day, the people around you are not just part of your present. They are shaping your future. And if you do not choose them wisely, you may wake up one day and realize that you have built a life that was never truly yours. Reclaiming your power, how to build a life free from toxic influence and full of purpose. Once you begin to distance yourself from negative people, if something profound happens, you start to feel lighter. The weight you didn't even realize you were carrying begins to lift, and in its place, there is space. Space to think clearly, space to dream without hesitation, space to finally hear your own voice without it being drowned out by the doubts of others. But this space is both a gift and a responsibility. Because once you have freed yourself from toxic influences, the question becomes, what will you fill that space with? Who will you allow into your life? What kind of reality will you create for yourself now that you are no longer bound by the limitations of others? The mistake many people make after cutting out negativity is failing to be intentional about what comes next. They assume that simply removing harmful influences is enough. But nature abhors a vacuum. If you do not deliberately choose the people, ideas, and environments that will shape your future, something else will fill that space for you. And often, if you are not careful, old patterns will creep back in. You will find yourself gravitating toward the familiar, even if the familiar was never good for you. This is why it is not enough to simply reject negativity. You must actively seek out positivity. You must build a life that reinforces your growth, your ambition, your highest potential. The key to this transformation is to surround yourself with people who challenge you in the right ways. The people who push you to be better, not out of insecurity or competition, but because they genuinely believe in your potential. People who see possibilities where others see obstacles. People who refuse to let you settle, not because they are dissatisfied with you, but because they know you are capable of more. These are the people who will elevate you. These are the relationships that will change your life. But they do not appear by accident. You must seek them out. You must be willing to let go of comfort and familiarity in order to create space for something greater. Beyond people, you must also be mindful of the environment you cultivate for yourself. Your mind is shaped by what you consume, what you read, what you watch, what you listen to. If you are constantly surrounded by negativity, fear, and doubt, it will seep into your thinking, no matter how strong you believe yourself to be. But if you fill your mind with ideas that inspire you, with knowledge that expands your perspective, paired with stories of those who have overcome challenges to create extraordinary lives, you will begin to see the world differently. You will begin to see yourself differently. And most importantly, you must trust yourself. For too long, you have allowed the voices of others to dictate your choices, your beliefs, your perception of what is possible. But you do not need permission to live the life you want. You do not need validation to pursue your dreams. You do not need the approval of those who never had the courage to chase their own ambitions. The only thing you need is the willingness to take action, to trust your instincts, to move forward even when you are uncertain. But this is your life, not theirs, not the people who doubted you, not the ones who tried to hold you back, not the voices that told you to be realistic, to play it safe, to settle for less. Your life is yours to build, to shape, to define. And now, for the first time, you have the space to do it. The only question that remains is, What will you do with it?